Hello everyone, and thank you for taking the time and allowing me to walk you through the investor presentation in what will be a very exciting year for Horizon Minerals. Horizon Minerals is focused on gold and our area of interest is in the Western Australian goldfields, a prolific production region and obviously in the safe jurisdiction of Western Australia. Our usual disclaimer. At present, Horizon Minerals is a producer, a developer, explorer and partner. We currently have around 1.1 million ounces of mineral resource, covering around 850 square kilometres of tenure. We're fully funded through to our feasibility study at the end of June in 2021, and we've just started our largest ever drilling program with 70,000 metres planned, going through the next 12 to 18 months. Corporate snapshot, we're a very small and technical focused board and management team. Market capitalisation sitting around 65 million Australian. We have a cash position around 18 million, listed investments around 4.5 million and a current short-term working debt facility of around 4 million for our Barara operation. A very tight shareholding with about 48% sitting in the top 20, with the board holding around 6% with our skin in the game. So project overview, you can see on the map on the right hand side, Kalgoorlie, all of our projects sit within a 75 kilometre radius of our baseload Barara operation. As mentioned, we've consolidated about 850 square kilometres on major geological structures of the Greenstone Belt of Western Australia. All 100% owned, and 74% of our current 1.1 million ounce resource is in the measured and indicated JORC category. And we're focused on four core deposit areas: Barara, Binduli and Crake, Rose Hill and Teal, that I'll talk about in a bit more detail as we go forward. There's a fantastic address, all the infrastructure that you could possibly need surrounding us, and the majors clamouring for bigger positions in this area. I'll spend a bit of time on this slide. It's probably one of the most important slides in the presentation. Where are we going? Where are we taking Horizon Minerals? Our major strategic objective is to develop an initial 4 to 5 year mine plan, and we want to be building our own production facility at Barara. Barara obviously is a baseload feed sitting over 500,000 ounces in resource. That will provide a significant amount of material for the planned processing plant, and that will be supported by the Teal Camp, the Binduli area and Rose Hill as our satellite projects. That can bring higher grade, higher margin material in to support the baseload feed at Barara. The beauty of Barara area is it is 15 minutes drive from the centre of Kalgoorlie. Qualified staff can be driving home to their families every night. We have power at site, we have water at site, and we are in a fantastic location and a licence approval to be shortly in place to enable us to build the mill. So our plan going forward really is to be rapidly growing our resources. So we want to be developing a reserve plan by June next year through our definitive feasibility study. We want to be exploring our portfolio through 70,000 metres of drilling to grow our resource base to a target of over 2 million ounces. And we're looking at a targeted production in CY22 on the back of that feasibility study. A little bit more detail on the Barara Gold Project. As mentioned, 10 kilometres east of Kalgoorlie. We have a current resource just over 500,000 ounces across a 1.8 kilometre strike in this area across the Royal, Crown Jewel and Regal deposits. Back in 2016, the Royal area was trial mined and milled through a toll milling facility, and that delivered an uplift in tonnage and in grade. We wanted to know why, and so we drilled out the entire deposit in the December quarter on a 10 by 4 metre grade control pattern. That led to an increase in tonnage, an increase in grade, and we are now in the middle of toll milling at the nearby Lakewood processing facility to de-risk the larger scale development. So it's great to be delivering and producing gold and selling it into a high Australian dollar gold price environment. But the more important factor for us is to de-risk and understand the geology before we commit to a larger scale development and a large capital expenditure, including a processing plant that we want to situate right next to the Barara operation. So this slide shows the Barara long section showing the block model. You can see it's a very, very well endowed and very large mineralised system across the Royal, Crown Jewel and Regal areas. The red dashed lines there you can see is our conceptual scoping study pit designs. So that takes the Regal pit down to about 100 metres and the Royal area down to up to 200 metres deep. So a very, very big system, open along strike, open at depth and a lot of potential to grow from further drilling, both to the north, to the south, and particularly at depth where you can see in the centre of the slide there some fantastic significant intercepts that we need to be following up as things progress. But we're focused on the open cuts. We're focused on delivering this as a 7 to 8 year mine life in its current form, and then we can grow the business and grow the operation from there. So the upside, if you have a look at that previous block model, you can see 1.8 kilometres of strike. We actually own on our tenement package 25 kilometres of strike. So we have enormous opportunity to be expanding the Barara operation to the south, to Golden Ridge, and to the north up to Kanowna Belle. So we're planning 15,000 metres of drilling. That drilling will commence this quarter. We're looking for resource extensions in and around the mine. And we're also looking for new discoveries, particularly up in the northern area where you can see on the right-hand side the Kanowna South target. It's surprising, being adjacent to the super pit, that this has been relatively untested with modern exploration. So we're looking at putting air core, RC and diamond drilling into this area. And what we see is the opportunity to not only grow Barara, but be looking for something new with similar rocks that we see at the Kanowna Belle operation and the Invincible operation further south, and looking forward to getting that drilling underway and reporting those results over the next half. So in support of the Barara operation, the baseload feed, we've got a number of satellite operations. Rosehill is certainly one of those, and we acquired that as part of our asset swap with the Northern Star back in 2019. Current resource around 95,000 ounces at 2.5. We see considerable open cut and particularly underground potential at Rosehill. Our first round of drilling has delivered spectacular results, as you can see on the slide there. And this deposit and project will feature heavily in our first 5-year mine plan. And we have been drilling in September with results due to come out in the current December quarter. Again, with the Binduli deposit, fantastic results released over the last 12 months. The RC rig and diamond rig is currently drilling at the Binduli area and centred around the Crake deposit, where we are looking to bring Crake into a reserve as part of the consolidated feasibility study. Very close to Kalgoorlie, 20 kilometres from Barara, and we see enormous opportunity to grow this deposit with the mineralisation open to the north, open to the west. And we've also seen a sister deposit called Coot, immediately to the west of Crake, that has the same signature, and we're currently drilling that as well. So you can certainly look forward to a lot of news flow coming from the Binduli area in the next 4 to 5 weeks as we continue to grow this deposit, both along strike and particularly at depth. Teal, the Teal area we know very, very well. We actually were mining here in 2017 and 2018. You can see on the image there what we mined. We took out 22,000 ounces and it graded around 3.2 and 94% recovery. So that was a very successful operation for us, generated $7 million in cash. And what we're looking for here is more teals. We see opportunity for that at the Jarks Find area to the south at the bottom of the page, and further extensions on Teal East and Teal South in this area. Good metallurgy and fantastic grade, and only 20 kilometres to the northwest of Barara. So we see Teal being, again, another significant contributor to our satellite ore bodies to support the Barara mill. In September, we commenced our largest ever drilling program. So 70,000 metres of drilling will be undertaken over the next 12 to 18 months. There's 3 facets to the drilling program. The first is to be drilling for reserve conversion. So we want to be feeding into the consolidated feasibility. That's due out in June 2021. So the first priority of the drilling program is to get the resources into reserve. The second priority is to grow our resource position to our target of greater than 2 million ounces. And our third priority is to be testing for new discoveries in this fantastic part of the world. So we have more than 15 high priority new discovery targets, near mine extension drilling, infill drilling, geotechnical drilling, and all the work we need to do to be generating reserves within our stated time frame. Fantastic part of the world, and looking forward to sharing those results. And I think news flow is going to be consistent from now through to June next year. So our key milestones: we commenced milling. We've now completed mining at Barara. That was 6 weeks ahead of schedule. We have stockpiles available that are being hauled over to the toll mill. We have 2 toll milling campaigns left to complete. The first will commence on the 4th of November, and will be completed at the end of November. And our final milling campaign will commence in January. When we complete that milling, all the data will be reconciled into an updated resource model in the March quarter of next year, and then that will lead into a maiden reserve for Barara in the June quarter of next year. So in terms of news flow, we have mining updates, milling updates, drilling results, resource updates and reserve updates, all leading towards our ultimate consolidated feasibility study timeframe of June next year. And then we want to be financing and moving into a development phase, and we aim to be in production in Q3 2022 on the back of that feasibility study. We're focused on our gold business, but we have a number of other non-gold commodities that we're working either in joint venture or discussing with interested parties. So what we've typically done over the past is not be distracted by our non-gold properties. Richmond Vanadium is a case in point where we have joint ventured out $6 million as a JV earnout on one of the world's largest vanadium oxide deposits in North Queensland. We want to retain exposure for our shareholders, but we don't want to be distracted by a commodity that isn't our core business. The Nimbus Silver project has generated a lot of interest over the last couple of months with the improving silver and zinc prices, and we're working with a number of interested parties again to unlock value at the Nimbus Silver project for our shareholders. We have divested our copper assets up at Nanadi Well in the Murchison to a copper explorer, and that is in the right home with a fantastic technical group, Cyprium Metals, and we look forward to their success, not only leveraging off our project, but our shareholders get exposure to their projects at Hollandair. In 2019, we divested the Menzies and Gungari projects to King West, and they're doing some fantastic work up in the region, exploring and growing that business. And we hold a dominant 19.9% interest in King West and a board seat. We have a production royalty, and that has delivered over $600,000 in 2019. And we see in the media a large investment coming from Zijin, the owner of the Janet Ivy production facility and the Paddington Gold Mine, and we look forward to that generating additional income for us over time. So we're focused on gold, but we don't want to just let our non-gold projects go. We want to retain interest, but we don't want to be distracted by it. So in summary, we are focused on gold. We're focused on the safe jurisdiction of the Western Australian goldfields because there's a lot more gold to be found here yet. And that is really why so many companies are clamouring to get a position here. We have an enormous exploration program up and away with regular news flow coming. We are in production and will continue that production through to the March quarter next year. And we have a really strong financial position where we're fully funded through to that development decision as a part of the consolidated feasibility. So it's exciting time for Horizon and their shareholders, and we look forward to continuing to update everybody as the business progresses. Thank you for listening to the presentation. For those of you coming up to the Kalgoorlie Diggers and Dealers Forum next week, come and see us at booth 57. We'll be holding site tours for our investors and anyone who'd like to come and have a look at the Barara site and our drilling programs in action. For those of you who can't make it, We look forward to keeping you informed as the business grows in what will be a very exciting year for us at Horizon Minerals.